Hey you guys, welcome back to the Wisconsin Live Desk. It's Haley with you this Monday afternoon. Time check 2:22, and pretty much the last 2 hours we have nonstop been covering the very latest out of Morgan Geyser's escape. Again, she escaped from her group home in Madison late Saturday night, eventually taken back into custody last night in Posen, Illinois. And we're joined right now actually with Kasey Chronis from our sister station who's in Posen. And Kasey, you just spoke with the police chief there. Tell us, what did you learn?
Hey, Haley, that's right. Yeah, we just interviewed Police Chief William Alexander here in Posen. Like you mentioned, this is where Morgan Geyser was taken into custody last night. Now, to kind of paint the picture, Posen is a south suburb of Chicago. Took us about 30 minutes to get here, just to kind of paint that picture. And we are told by the police chief that when Morgan escaped her group home in Wisconsin, she and the man who she was with, Chad Mecca, they took a Greyhound bus to Chicago and they walked the rest of the way to Posen. So what happened last night is a clerk at a gas station, a Thornton's truck stop, called the police because a couple people were loitering, sleeping on the sidewalk, kind of out back by the dumpsters, but on the property of that truck stop. When police got there, Morgan and Chad did not want to give their real names, and Morgan even said to police something along the lines of, "I did something really bad and I don't want to tell you who I really am." Ultimately, the police pressed and they pressed. She ended up giving her real name and said, "Google me." And that is when they realized who she was and that she was wanted out of Wisconsin. Now, interestingly, the police chief here said when he got that call last night, the case sort of rang a bell, but he had to Google it himself. And it wasn't until then that he realized, okay, wow, this is a really big case. This is a huge situation. They brought Morgan, they brought Chad to the police department last night. They booked them here. And then this morning, Morgan was actually transferred to a county facility in Cook County. And tomorrow she will have an extradition hearing at 26th and Cal, one of Cook County's main courthouses and jails in the morning. She will then be, as long as she waives her rights, extradited to Wisconsin.
Okay, so Kasey, this is very interesting because up until this point, all that we've known as far as this individual that was with Morgan Geyser was that he was 42 and a male. You are now saying that it is Chad Mecca. I'm curious, did the police chief tell you anything else about who this individual is or why they were with Morgan Geyser?
We don't know why he was with Morgan, what their relationship was, how long they've known each other, but he has been charged with criminal trespassing and with providing a fake name to police. So this man is charged. He was released this morning. He signed out. He was released under the Illinois Safety Act, but he is facing those criminal charges and will have upcoming court hearings, but police are releasing his name. We even have a photo of him that we will be including in our reports later today. Again, unclear how they knew each other, how long they've known each other, but his name is Chad Mecca.
Yeah, that is very interesting. I know there's a lot of questions as to who this individual was. Also interesting, some new information you're giving us is that they took a Greyhound bus to Chicago, then walked to Posen. I know you said it would be about a 30-minute drive, so I would imagine that's a long walk, which could maybe explain why they were found sleeping on the sidewalk, which we certainly thought was a little bizarre when we first heard about that.
Exactly. And one of our main hubs for buses is Union Station, which is right downtown. That's 18 miles from Posen. So unclear if they could have or would have walked that whole way. There are some other Greyhound bus hubs, including one at 95th Street, which is much, much further south, that would have cut their time down quite a bit. So possibly they took the bus all the way south and then walked the remaining several miles. I'm hoping that the police chief gets back to me. I've asked him to see if he could check on that tidbit and find out where exactly they were dropped off.
Yeah.
And, one more thing, Haley, we don't know where they were heading. I doubt this was their last stop. It certainly could have been, but perhaps they were working to move further south. We really don't know yet what their end goal or final destination plan was.
No, that's another great question. There's still just so much to learn when it comes to this story. You kind of touched on this already, but I'm just curious. Obviously, here in Milwaukee, in Waukesha, in Madison, we know the Slenderman case. We know Morgan Geyser's name. This is now going across state lines into Illinois. Certainly a big enough case that I think people would still remember it from those national headlines. But how familiar do you think people in Chicago and Posen and Illinois really are with this case?
You know, this case is being remembered by a lot of people here because when we were in the lobby of the police department and we were waiting for the chief to come out, we chatted with 3 different groups who were just at the police station taking care of their own business. It's also the village hall and it's the fire department, so they all share one building. So we chatted with 3 different groups. We were waiting in the lobby for about 10-15 minutes or so, and they asked, the groups asked what we were doing here. We explained to them, and all 3 groups knew exactly the case that we were talking about.
Yeah, it's certainly fascinating. You have provided some new information for us here on the Wisconsin Live Desk after talking to the police chief. So Kasey, we appreciate you so much for joining us, and good luck with the rest of your story today.
Thanks, Haley. Great to chat with you.